Well, hello, I'm Dara, Denney. Welcome to my show.
What's up, marketers? Welcome to a day in my life as a director of growth. It is pretty early right now, and if I'm being honest, I'm not really that much of a morning person. I've already checked into my job via Slack. There are no fires as of yet this Monday morning, so I am going to take a chill morning. I'm going to make some breakfast, I'm going to clean up a bit, and I'm going to listen to a marketing podcast to start off the day. Normally, I like to listen to Smart Marketer or Perpetual Traffic, so I'm probably going to choose one of those. So I will see you guys in a bit so that we can officially get started. Okay, I'll be back in a second. That's better. So the first thing that I like to do when I come in the morning is obviously check my calendar, check my to-do list, which I always write the night before. And the next thing I do is I check in on a few important client accounts. Now, I don't personally run the accounts full time. I'm managing 3 growth managers who are managing those accounts, but there are a few accounts that are really important and that I make sure to check in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is the look of someone seeing that CACs are really starting to rise, and I think part of it is due to iOS 14. Seems to be like pretty consistent across the board too. It definitely seems like we've seen an increase in CAC across many of my clients, so I'm going to be digging into that quite a bit today. But for now, I'm going to be finalizing creative briefs for my clients this week. Like I said earlier, we tend to do 1-week sprints for our clients, which means that we're creating new creative on a almost weekly basis. So I'm going to be diving into that right now. Guys, a quick look at my desk or office space. Now you can see that I have 2 screens, which is really tricky when you are a digital nomad and you are changing offices all the time. But what I have here is a MacBook, like 13-inch Pro, and then I have an iPad Pro, which I use Sidecar to then use as my double screen. So this is my setup, and like I said, I have Passion Planner, just like an Amazon Basics notebook that I use to take notes. And then I have a set of Bose headphones, as well as just like a set of plug-in earbuds. Now I alternate between these two pretty much all throughout the day. And one of my favorite things that I have right here is my Logitech Brio camera. This is like one of my most favorite things that I always travel with, and it just makes me look like not a criminal on the webcam. And that's pretty much my setup, and I'm really happy with it so far. So it is about 9:38 right now, and I've completed the creative briefs for the week. In general, I actually like to complete that on Friday before I sign out for the weekend, and I just had a few small things to finish up there this morning, so that's already completed. And I've also completed my agenda for my team's meeting. I'm going to be leading that in about an hour or two. So I have a little bit of extra time this morning, so I wanted to talk a little bit about actually like what tools we use at Thesis. And like some of the obvious ones are like Google Calendar. I live and die by that thing. But also like G Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheet. Those are like really standard across all or most agencies, and definitely still use those here. For internal communication, we use Slack, and for external communication, we also use Slack. So the way that it works is like for our clients, we have an internal Slack channel for each client so that we can talk about things amongst ourselves, among creative, design, CRL. And we also have an external facing client Slack channel where we can then communicate with the client. We do communicate with with some of our clients via email, but it's just not as common, to be honest. The other tools of the agency that we use include Asana, and we're using that for tracking internal projects. We're also using that to track the creative pipeline, and none of this is client facing, this is all internal, but we're using that to track our dev projects, our design CRO and landing page projects, and like I said, our creative pipeline project. And then for training and for databases, we're using Notion at the agency. So that's also where I keep a lot of my meeting notes so that my team has transparency into that as well. Okay, I'm going to get back to it. This morning, I've actually been doing a little bit of work on Snapchat. We just onboarded a new client onto Snapchat a few weeks ago, and it's going really, really well. So for those of you that don't know, I actually have a partnership with Snapchat where if you spend $1,000, you get a free $1,000 in Snapchat ad credit. And this is a really great way to test out the platform for people that haven't tried it yet. And I've been getting really, really good results from my clients on Snapchat, so I definitely think you should. I will have that link in the description bar below. Getting ready to pop into my first meeting of the day, which is a all hands meeting with the entire Thesis family. So I'm going to be doing something that's a little bit out of the norm right now. I'm working on a secret project for Thesis. I know you guys would love it. It begins with a P and ends with a T. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of work for that, writing up a quick intro for it. So I'm going to get to that right now. You're listening to X. Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm done with my secret project, and now it's time for me to lead my team meeting. One of the most important meetings of the week because we're going to line up on all of our client work for today and also organize our creative pipeline. I know we're still waiting for a few people to trickle in. Hey everyone, but I'm gonna go ahead and get us started so that I can give you some time back. First, I wanted to align on hiring. I wanted to give you guys an update that our hiring plans have changed a little bit since last week. Just got out of the big meeting with my team. It was awesome. We prioritized all the creative for all of our clients for the week. And the way that we divide our creative asks right now is we divide our creative asks between net new creatives and iterative creatives. So what that means is like net new creatives are brand new things that we have to make. We might have already had the footage. In some cases we don't, and we have to create that footage. But these are net new assets that are going to be brand new tests for our clients. And iterative creatives are iterations of creative that has already worked. So maybe we're adding new types of subtitles, maybe we're adding new types of text overlay, maybe we're adding a new hook, maybe we're adding, a million different things, or maybe like end cards or something. So we already went ahead through the rest of the week for what we have for our clients, and that's all organized and it's looking really good. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm getting ready to jump into another internal meeting. I am actually going to be doing a training with our CRO and landing pages team because me and another team member are going to be temporarily taking over landing pages and CRO for one of our big clients, which I'm actually really excited about because this is an area that I haven't had too much training or exposure to. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I just got up of 3 hours of calls and Fernando made lunch. Best boyfriend ever. So someone on Twitter actually asked about you.
Oh, what?
Well, they asked how, as a couple, we manage working in the same industry, and how, we handle when, one person has a meeting, and just, how do we deal with that?
Like, if we have meetings at the same time?
Yeah.
So first thing, you need to clear separate spaces to work.
Yeah, we've tried working in the same room, and that's not a thing that works for us at all.
Yeah.
I talk too loud, and you get annoyed by it.
I don't get annoyed by it. It's just that I cannot focus with noise. So just that. And if you are wondering what we're eating Peruvian dish called arroz tapado. take a dip in the pool later.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hot today. It's currently 37 Celsius. I mean, I guess in your channel you have like a metric and imperial system viewers.
Lots of metric viewers. I know a lot of my viewers are from France and India, which is awesome. Those are like two of my most favorite places in the world.
From the people in the US, we are at 99 Fahrenheit, or as they call it, 99 freedom degrees.
We do not. Hey guys. Okay, just got out of my final call for the day. It is 5 p.m. Central, and I do work in Central Time right now, but my company is based in Eastern Time. Anyways, I'm gonna take a look at some of the questions that you guys had about my day-to-day, and I'm gonna answer those. So first one here is, how do you connect your team so that you can deliver the ideas of creative that you want to test, like the actual workflow? So if a creative is going to be made by my team, it's either going to be made by myself or the growth manager. So like they're going to start at the ideation phase, and then what they'll do is they'll write up a creative brief. We'll be submitting that in Asana, and then maybe having a meeting with our creative team. So that's going to be their video editor, maybe a creative director, and then they'll help bring that creative to life, and then we'll go through a series of revisions once the actual asset is made, before it then goes to the client. I would say from ideation to client deliverable takes anywhere from like 1 to 2 weeks, and it really depends on if we already have that content or if we have to go and develop net new content. So like that's the basic rough outline for our process. So I got a lot of questions about how like I test creative and audiences and keeping spreadsheets and stuff. That kind of thing is something I'm going to make a completely other video about, because it's just going to take up too much time for me to actually go over all that stuff. Another question I got is if I was freelancing, and I actually haven't been freelancing for a while. I've been working full-time at agencies for like the last 3 to 4 years, and my previous position was as a director of paid social. I had actually moved up from digital ads manager to senior account manager to a director level, and again at Thesis I am at a director level, so I am a director of paid social here. And what's kind of cool is here I'm not just managing my own team of growth marketers. On my team, there's also engineers, designers, CRO and landing page people, as well as some video editors and a creative team. So while I'm not all directly managing them like one-on-one, I'm not their direct manager, that is like the team that I manage, and I manage their workflow so that we can have like specific client deliverables, which is really exciting. And there are a lot of changes going on there as well. So that's kind of in flux, but it has been really exciting to manage like a bona fide growth team and not just like a paid social team. So again, I got another question about my reporting and analyzing process. That just has to be its own video. It's way too big to go into here, but suffice it to say that for our reporting, we use a combination of like just looking directly inside of our ads managers, as well as a supermetric sheets, which is going to be pulling data from different places like ads manager, Shopify, and GA to like kind of triangulate that data. So as for the cadence of things that I do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, I actually have a sheet that I'm going to provide for you guys that I sometimes use for my growth managers, and it shows my expectations for what I want them to do on a daily, weekly, monthly, and then a quarterly level. So be sure to look in the description bar below to get access to that. Another question was about personal progress docs, to-do lists, and how to keep organized. So I really love this question, and the way that I keep myself organized is number one, through my Google Calendar. That's really what's dictating a lot of my schedule. So every single day, and like really the day before, and really for the entire week, I'm always making sure that I am mapping out the rest of my week and the action items and the deliverables that I have, really with that as my guiding light. Now, I also have a passion planner where I'm writing down my to-do list for the day, and I make sure actually every single night to write my to-do list for the next day. So that's one. And also what I try to do to keep myself really sharp is, one, to take notes when I am on client calls. And I know it looks like a total mess, but it really works for me, and I really like being able to go back and then like organize my thoughts, especially if if I'm trying to like turn those notes into a deliverable, which is what I'm going to try to do here. So actually one of my new favorite things that I've been using lately is a transcriber for Google Meets, which means that every time I hop on a call, it actually transcribes everything that's said on the entire call. I have a meeting that is set up now. It's just you and me, guys. But you can see right here, it has a little transcript, and I just installed it as a part of Google Chrome, so you can see it's like Meet Transcript, I guess is what it's called. But I've been using it and I've really liked it so far, especially if I'm taking notes and I missed something, and I can just like go back and see what was actually said. Personal process docs. So I keep a few docs that I'm using almost every single day, and what I actually do for my direct reports is I have a document that has their name at the top of every single one. So like say if I'm managing someone by the name of Stacy, I have a singular doc for Stacy. I also have another doc for Matt, or another doc for Mike. And what I do is, as I'm going throughout the week, I'll make notes. You know, if they did something really good, I'll make a note of that. If I see something that, oh, maybe they should work on this skill, or oh, maybe this thing that they said in a meeting was a little crunchy, I'll make sure to write that down so that I can then discuss it with them in their one-on-one. And I really like doing this because it's able for me to identify patterns and also things that like we can work on together over a longer period of time. So another one is like for every single client, we also have an agenda meeting doc, which is just a Google Doc that is rolling so that, you know, every single week when we're having these meetings with our clients, we just have all of the agenda notes on one single place. And those are something that I'm also in like every single day. And that's like one for every single client. So another person asked me what my salary and commission was, and I've decided that I'm not comfortable sharing that information at the moment. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's like so much less about like you guys knowing and just more about like people in my past or people that are like close to me knowing. So I know that's really cryptic, but it's like more about protecting me and like people that I know versus like me telling the internet, because I do think that the world is a better place when we have salary transparency. That's why I'm really happy to have those conversations one-on-one, you know, especially with my friends. But I would also be happy to have those conversations like one-on-one with you guys. It's just not something that I like feel comfortable publicizing at this time for personal reasons. This is another good question. How do you stay positive, motivated, and organized? To be honest, I think I do a pretty good job of staying positive. And a lot of that is just like I truly love what I do, and any time that there are like hardships in our industry, like I've just been in it so long that I know that it is just part of the workflow. Like there are going to be days when accounts tank and ROAS is down, CPAs are up, and that's just part of the game. And I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of like having bad results for a few days. It is really stressful, but it is, I really welcome that challenge. And to me, it's all just like a puzzle piece of like a larger picture. So I try to think of that on days that it gets too hard. And as for motivated, I'm a really self-motivated person, and I've been like that for a while, and I think that's because I really love being able to like sink my teeth into a project. And nowadays, like with my work, I love being able to sink my teeth into so many different projects, and there's always so many new opportunities and new like challenges to rise to the occasion for. So for me, it's just always about like identifying what I'm getting out of it, and like that's not always money, you know. For me, I really love becoming a better media buyer every single day, and I feel like every single day I get the opportunity to learn something new, just because our industry is changing so rapidly. So on days when it's hard, I always just try to remember that that's part of what makes it so interesting and so beautiful. But now what I want to do is I want to finish up for a few things that I have to do tomorrow. Like I said, I want to write an agenda for one of my most important clients for tomorrow morning, and then that quick deliverable that I'm going to be going over tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I gotta dive into this like way more, so I'll see you guys in a sec. Whew. Okay, so it's like 9:06 p.m. I just finished up my brief that I had written for tomorrow and my agenda. I am exhausted, but I'm actually going to be off this Thursday and Friday, so there's a lot of things that I have to slam into earlier this week. So what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is shift some things over for tomorrow from my agenda so that I can be all prepped for tomorrow. And so thank you so much for spending the day with me. I'm not sure how interesting this is going to turn out, but if you guys like this video and want to see more days in my lives, weeks in my lives, etc., let me know, because I actually have quite a bit of fun doing vlogging throughout the day, even though my workday is pretty crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Later, guys.